Welcome to the No Name Music Cast. To follow us on Instagram, go to No Name Music Cast Podcast. To send us an email, it's nonamemusiccast@gmail.com. And to visit our website, go to nonamemusiccast.com. Now, on with the show. Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to the No Name Music Cast. My name's Tim, and this is
Joy.
And we've had a period of sickness in the No Name Music Cast world. First of all, we was going to record this week, and Joy was feeling under the weather. And then I was like, yeah, Joy, give it a couple of days. And she said, we can record. And then we get to Wednesday, and I'm like, Joy, I feel terrible. And I had 2 days off work, almost 3 days off work, with a man cold. Obviously, it's much worse than a regular cold, as you know how these things are. And yeah, here we are. We're on Sunday, but we're on the other side of all this stuff, I hope.
I think so. I do have a little bit of residual congestion, so don't come for me, internet, if you hear that, but I'll try my hardest to make sure that you guys aren't aware. I don't know. I just had like a cold off and on, mostly congestion. It started out as a sore throat. It's one of those weird, like, something's wrong, but you don't really need to go to a doctor wrong.
Exactly. What you need to do is...
the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, stay at home for a couple of days and just ride that thing out. I will say I've been... abusing isn't the right word. Using NyQuil of an evening. And I tell you, if you can't breathe, take a couple of NyQuil, boom, it knocks you right out.
It does. It's probably... it really is one of the most useful whenever you're generally sick and you just can't fall asleep. Like, it does it for me. Also, don't mix it with melatonin. Just some life advice. I think I accidentally did that once and I was asleep for like 48 hours, I swear. I had taken the melatonin for just like my normal sleep medicine, and then I forgot about it, and then I took the NyQuil, and that was a very rough sleep.
There we go. Well, top medical tips there from the No Name Music Cast.
Just don't do that. With that being said, Tim, go ahead and start us out with your music news.
Okay, so a couple of things from this week. First off, Dolly Parton. Yes. Rebecca Parton. Okay, there's no part of the Dollyverse that she doesn't touch now at this point. Okay. So it was announced this week. She's getting into the business of gas stations.
I saw that. I was like, of course. I mean, she's in grocery stores now, so why not gas stations?
Yeah. So, I mean, we have spoken on the podcast many times before about a chain here called Buc-ee's, which is like Walmart-size shops and 110 petrol gas pumps, whatever you want to call them, and charging stations. It's a destination gas station.
Lots of food.
It's Americana in a box, as it were. But Dolly wants to be part of this. So she has partnered with a company called the Tennessean Travel Stop. So they are refurbing their flagship location to be a Dolly's gas station or Dolly's rest stop or something like that. That will be the pilot location. It'll be opening next year. And from there on, they're going to be opening many, many other gas stations in Tennessee and across the country, these Dolly Parton themed gas petrol stations.
She's really saying, I'm going to make sure I put my emphasis on everything. So for those who aren't in America, I said it a minute ago. And while we know Tim doesn't physically ever go inside grocery stores, he is aware she now has like brownie mixes and cake mixes and cornbread mixes. I don't know if that's only in America. So, I mean, this is really just the next stop. It all makes sense.
Absolutely. And her quote on this, she said, I spend the bulk of my life on the road, and more specifically on a bus. And all the years visiting greasy spoon cafes, truck stops, and roadside pit stops have given me an understanding of what travelers desire on the road. Whether you're driving a truck, a bus, a car, or you want a place that feels like home and recharges you for the rest of your journey. I believe we will fill a void out there on the highways, all while bringing the heart and soul of Tennessee.
What a marketing pitch if I've ever heard one.
Absolutely. One thing that's interesting, Buc-ee's doesn't allow trucks, like 18-wheelers. They very famously don't serve truckers. It's only cars and RVs and stuff. But they don't. Whereas this, she's actually saying trucks. So it will be a Dolly truck stop for all the for the trucking community out there.
Yeah. And they don't even have like and you have to have a physical location for the trucks and stuff. I think for Buc-ee's, it was probably just easier and, gives people who aren't truckers like their own little special space. So I'm sure there's some marketing or psychology behind that. But I mean, it would be a little hypocritical to say, I've been on a bus my entire life and then make a thing, you know what I mean? Tim, and not allow trucks or buses. Just saying, like a tour bus size truck, bus, of course. But anyway, I think you have one little bit of something you were really excited to tell everybody.
Yeah, so I've got one thing to share. Now, this is a piece of music news that's 2 years old, but it takes a while for things to filter into my universe. So the other day I was on the YouTubes and I was looking at various things, and I periodically look at NPR Tiny Desk concerts. Mm-hmm. And what they are musicians that go into the NPR offices in Washington, D.C. And as the name suggests, they play a gig at a desk, like an office desk. Now, the desk in Tiny Desk is decorated like cool with books and music and records and stuff and merchandise.
There's an aesthetic happening for sure.
It's a workspace, but a fancy workspace at NPR's offices. And I was looking at a few different things, and I watched a couple I hadn't seen before, and I thought, this was interesting. And I saw that Robert Plant had done it recently as well, but he's not really doing any Zeppelin songs, so I'm not into his new age music. But, good luck to him. But then I come across Nile Rogers and Chic from the Tiny Desk concert.
And it was really good.
Yeah, and I've watched this thing 3 times, nearly 4 times now since I've discovered it. This band is so good. Every member of that band is so good. Now, the only person who's original and Chic is Nile Rogers. It doesn't have Bernard Edwards. It doesn't have any of the classic members, but all the people in that band are absolutely amazing. The 2 singers he has couldn't be better. The keyboard player, the horn section, the rhythm section. And it's not so much that they're just great players. They have such good chemistry together, and the arrangements are amazing. And I just cannot speak highly enough of this. Now, Joy, I sent it to you. Have you seen this?
Yes, I did watch. I didn't watch all of it. I watched about half of it the other day because I was half asleep when Tim sent it to me. And I will say it was amazing. I liked that they had like the full horn section. Well, not like a full horn, but they had a horn section. They had a percussion system. They had the full thing there. Not every Tiny Desk does, but it seems like generally they bring in as many people as they can. But it really makes like the Chic music come alive, having that all there behind the desk.
Oh, it's fantastic. And all the songs. Nile Rogers, we did a whole Nile Rogers episode. But he played Diana Ross, he played Sister Sledge, he played Daft Punk, David Bowie songs, all songs that he'd written. And they're just so good.
Well, and you've got to think about, because he does like Let's Dance, We Are Family, right? Didn't he do Sister Sledge there?
Yeah.
But he had such a large amount of like songs to pick from. So, you know what I mean? When he's building out this set list, because he's got so many songs he was behind, as we've discussed on the podcast, that people don't even realize. So.
Absolutely. So I would highly recommend you go on your YouTubes and maybe crank it back 2 years, because, it takes a while for me to catch up on stuff.
This is true.
And just put in the old YouTube, NPR Tiny Desk Chic, and you will enjoy it. I can guarantee, regardless of what kind of music you like, this is so good.
And it's not very long. It's like, 6, 7 songs?
Yeah, it's 30 minutes or so.
Yeah. Tim, what song did you like the best from it, though?
It's hard to say. Every one, it's like, oh, it's this one. It's this one.
I will say I've always I like the We Are Family, the Sister Sledge, and then I listened to Get Lucky, and then just as Good Times started is when I ended it. I got to listen to the last 2 songs.
Yeah, the version of a Get Lucky is really good.
Daft Punk is just everything they do is so good, but this arrangement, what we've talked about, I think Get Lucky just came out of nowhere and was the perfect song for them at that time.
It was. Well, the thing is, you have to remember with Random Access Memories is it wasn't really a Daft Punk album. Really, it was a modern Chic album, because Nile Rodgers wrote most of the songs and produced most of the songs with them and played guitar on a bunch of the songs. Yep. And yes, they were assembling stuff like you would with a dance EDM type thing, but it was all with real players, and it really is just a Chic album. You listen to classic Chic and then you listen to Get Lucky, It's basically the same thing.
It is. It's a disco tune mixed with Pharrell Williams singing a little bit here and there, which he does a good job. I love that song, but I like Daft Punk as Daft Punk and Daft Punk as Daft Punk. Joy, I said that very weirdly. As also just an extension of Nile Rogers, and of course, one of the best versions is with Stevie Wonder performing with them as well.
Oh, well, absolutely 100%. That's from a Grammys performance, the one that you're talking about. The actual broadcast version is okay. The rehearsal version is even better. And like Paul McCartney's like in the audience. Because there's people like technical people just milling around and a few people just doing this, that, the other. And like there's placeholders and all the seats. And then just like Paul McCartney's just standing there at the back going, oh, this is fantastic. I love this.
He just walked in and was like, huh. I see Stevie Wonder on stage. Let's see what's happening.
Oh, so it's Robot Boys. Oh, I like them.
Is that your impression there, Tim? It's pretty spot on.
I think so. I think that's a completely accurate Paul McCartney.
All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to tell the people?
No, that's all I have at the top of the show.
All right. So I have a little bit of music news, and then it is my topic. My music news is kind of random, and it's correcting something that's out there. So there was a rumor going around that an AI song had topped the billboards for country music. Had you seen that, Tim?
No, I haven't seen that.
So it was kind of one of those things where technically it reached the top of a list, but it didn't reach the top of the Billboard chart. So that's where social media took it and ran with it. But it's not necessarily true. So basically, there's a song. It's called I'm Talking About Walk My Walk, which that alone should tell you it's probably I think it's just Walk My Walk is the technical term. But anyway, Walk My Walk is the title. And that alone should be enough to tell you that it's AI by a band called Breaking Rust. It's just hard for me to even say that. Social media shared it saying that, everybody's freaking out going, oh my gosh, AI is taking over, blah, blah. The problem is people were saying it was the top of the Billboard charts. It wasn't the top of the Billboard charts. It was the top of the Billboard country digital signal. Oh my God, digital song sales. I quit, guys. It's like I'm doing a tongue twister with that one. Digital song sales. So that's different than obviously the Billboard 100. Social media was throwing it out there. Now, what's interesting is apparently if you see the picture, I looked it up. The guy's just like a very ominous looking cowboy with a black hat. I listened to 30 seconds and said, I'm good. I had to turn it off. I don't like country pop to begin with. And I definitely don't like AI walk my walk country pop. So I didn't put myself through it just to tell you guys this.
Well, one advantage of rarely ever listening to new stuff, unless it's from a legacy artist, is you don't have to worry about this AI business because, if I don't know, the guitar player who used to be in Deep Purple, Steve Morse, he has an album out. I know there's going to be him because he wouldn't get involved in that, for example.
It's true. That is a good point. Yeah, but just so you know, if anybody saw that headline and was in a panic about it, it wasn't quite what was being played on social media. And like anything, me and Tim will tell you on social media, don't just believe what people put in front of you. Look it up before you believe it.
Oh, absolutely 100%. I mean, this is a weird path that we're going down with this stuff. And as I said before, are we going to get to the point with this logarithms and artificial this, that, the other, where I can go into some kind of prompt and say, I want a 5th season of Knight Rider. And it will just go, and it will spit me out 15 episodes. Is that where we are?
We are, because like today, Charlie was showing me this thing where it was like a math problem. Someone had written on a piece of paper, just like log division or something. And AI took a picture of the math problem, right? They took a picture of it, submitted it to AI. AI wrote out the math problem, how to solve it, but used the handwriting from the original person. And it almost matched to the point that handwriting analysts thought it was the same one.
Yeah, it's a very dark path, really.
It is. I'm all for getting some regulation if anyone's listening, and that's just my opinion. And me and Tim are not AI. You'll know if it's AI because Joy will start stumbling over her words, and Tim, I don't know what they'll know. Something about you not talking about Knight Rider as much or something. I don't know. But I'll start sounding like I actually know how to speak English, and you'll be like, AI, that's AI, joy's gone.
Nobody wants that. What we want is pure, unfiltered joy. That's what we want. I don't want it to be edited. I don't want it a purer form of this. I just want the real deal.
Fair enough. All right. So with that being said, and sorry guys if you hear my voice go out a little bit, I'm still recovering. I kind of thought about this because me and Tim have talked about this so many times on the podcast, and I always joke it's like one of those. I guess it could be on our drinking game bingo card where I'm like, I bet that artist has made bank off of all the times that song's been used in TV shows, movies, so on and so forth, cartoons, commercials. You get the idea. So I did a kind of, it's like the top 25 songs that have earned the most money annually. I've got where they're used, like a topic about, like a little trivia about them that we can discuss. Some of these are really obvious, some of them aren't. But I just thought it'd be kind of fun because I'm always saying that on the podcast anyway. So
Okay.
call this episode whatever you want, Tim, but that's what we're talking about.
This will be the top earning songs.
That's pretty much what I wrote in my notes. So you're right on the money. Now, I will say I wanted to get it was hard for them to determine like how much these songs have made up to 2025. But if you really want to do the math, you can. The first one is really obvious. And we've talked about this before. It's not a surprise to anyone. It's White Christmas.
Yeah, Bing Crosby's White Christmas. Yes, it's a perennial hit. It doesn't matter what kind of music is in vogue, that it always gets played around Christmas time. I'd imagine it's probably out of copyright at this point, too.
It is. And so it was originally written by Irving Berlin. Bing Crosby's version is the best-selling single of all time, period. We've talked about that. It ranks up there with like Candle in the Wind with Elton John. Over 50 million copies sold. It's famously used in the movie Home Alone. Obviously, and it is the most recorded Christmas song ever of all time. So,
I mean, people like that song, and it's a very popular song, and it evokes a spirit of Christmas. When the minute you hear it, it takes you to a time when Christmases were special to you. However, it's not Waitress's Christmas wrapping. I'm just putting that out there.
I agree with it. And I don't know why I wonder at what point in time is it just because of Santa, or what is it you guys call him in the UK, Tim?
Father Christmas.
Father Christmas. Is it just because he's from the North Pole that we associate Christmas with snow? Like, why do we want snow so desperately on Christmas? It really doesn't make any sense because it just screws up like air traffic. It screws up your travel plans. You're stuck. You probably can't get to the store to get the stuff you need. Realistically, it's actually a very inconvenient time for snow.
I mean, that's 100%. But I mean, that's the spirit of the season.
I'm just throwing it out there. The more I think about it, like, I get it. It'd be nice if, everybody was able to stay put on Christmas and not have to go an hour to see their families. I don't know. It's just funny we've gotten there because now I think about it, it's really the worst time of the year for snow. And I have missed my flight because of snow before at Christmas. Have you, Tim?
I haven't. Well, I used to travel to Sweden, especially at Christmas time, and they're completely set up for it. And I've seen
sense.
Planes being de-iced before they take off. So luckily, fingers crossed, touch wood, and all that kind of stuff, it hasn't bothered me yet missing a flight for snow. Now, I've had flights cancelled for other reasons, for weather, for technical defects, for routing, for you name it. But yeah, not luckily not for snow just yet.
So I flew from Charlotte to Salt Lake City I was up here to see my parents. My dad drove me down, had to get up at 5 a.m., made it down in the snow, and he made it home just fine, dropped me off at the airport. Get to the airport, all these flights were being grounded because there was huge storms all over the United States. My flight wasn't grounded. I was able to, Salt Lake City's used to snow, right? It's Salt Lake City. But I could not physically get to my airplane because there were so many people in line and so many people trying to get to their airplanes and people screaming in chaos. And I was standing there for like 3 hours and never got to my plane. So my plane left. I just didn't get on it.
No.
I tried to let people let me pass and they weren't falling for it because they were all stuck too. Thankfully, I think they gave me like half off of an airplane ticket because it really wasn't their fault, kind of. But it was just bad management across Charlotte Airport.
Yeah, Charlotte is a very large airport.
It is. And it's fun, sort of. I'd rather do Roanoke, to be honest, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, Roanoke Airport is like a real rinky-dink regional airport. But the thing is, you can't really go anywhere from Roanoke other than to other hubs.
No.
You can go to New York City and you can go to Washington D.C. But outside of that, it's all like hubs. You go to Atlanta. I mean, normally you have to go like Dallas Fort Worth or something like that.
I'd say Dallas, Denver, that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you want to go to Vegas, or if you want to go to Phoenix, or if you want to go to, I don't know, somewhere in Texas or something, you're going to have to bounce from somewhere else to get there. Roanoke will not take you there.
Especially if you're going international, because there's only so many international ports of entries or exits. So Charlotte it is. But anyway, all right.
There we are. That'll be really useful for all our listeners who don't live in the Southwest Virginia area.
Or anywhere near Charlotte, North Carolina. But anyway, all right. Now on to my next thing. But I just want to say, snow around Christmas, not a very logical thing. Anyway, so this one's probably another one that's, just so you know, that song averages about $1 to $1.5 million a year in royalties.
Not too bad.
No. And so the next one is another one that's going to be super obvious. And I'm sure when we were talking on the podcast, I said, this song's probably worth a lot of money because of all the movies it's been in. I don't know why I moved my hands and stuff like they could see me mocking myself. It's an audio podcast. But anyway, Tim saw it. With that being said, the song is You Lost That Loving Feeling by the Righteous Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, this is a classic song. I'm sure it's been in 101 commercials and TV shows and films and you name it.
Yes. And obviously it was written by the Righteous Brothers, but it was also performed by them. This one earns about $1 million, give or take, a year. It is the most played song on the radio in U.S. history, apparently. Learned that today. And it was famously used in Top Gun. There's like the bar scene. I don't know if Tim's ever watched Top Gun.
I've never ever seen Top Gun.
It's fine. There's just like a romantic bar scene. And of course, it starts with the "You never close your eyes." Like that's kind of the, and then famously, this is one of the very large Phil Spector Wall of Sound production songs. And it's Phil Spector's biggest check money making hit out there, even though I don't know that he's making money anymore.
No, because he's in jail because he's a murderer.
But that's a debate for another time. That hair held all his secrets. But this was not surprising. And I mean, if you looked it up, I'm sure the list is probably 300,000 plus people have used this in their thing. It does have a really nice, when I think of like movies, even like Dirty Dancing or something like that, it really fits the vibes of those kind of 80s, or late 80s, early 90s movies. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to explain it, but it's got that right feeling for those kind of things. Because the Righteous Brothers, I didn't mean it like that. And the song's about feeling. I'd realized what I said after all right. Anyway, I'll move along. So the next one, it's another one that we've talked about on this podcast. Though Tim has told me it's not allowed to be used in certain places. This is Spirit in the Sky, near Norman Greenbaum.
Yeah, as we've spoken before, we've done many episodes on hospital radio, because I know Joy's a big hospital radio fan at this point.
It's still sitting on my desk from the last episode. My little Radio Times magazine over here. I'm like an official fan or something. It's making about $350K a year. Obviously, it's used in everything. Most famously, it was used in the new Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, which I know Tim has actually listened to. And Greenbaum has openly said that this song has paid his bills for decades and doesn't have to work anymore.
Well, I think that's fantastic. I mean,
yeah,
you write a song. I mean, it's not a terribly difficult song.
No.
Certainly, it's not the structure of it. It's not very complicated at all. But you write this piece of music and you release it, and then it's basically your meal ticket for the rest of your days. I mean, that's not too bad.
Wasn't it in Wayne's World 2 as well?
Probably. I mean,
I feel like it was.
I only recognize Wayne's World 1. I can't even remember what goes on in Wayne's World 2, and I've certainly
vaguely remember it.
We'll never, ever watch it.
No, what's interesting is I am not a religious person, but I do love this song. But I do like, I think it's the rhythm or just like the cantation in which he says the lyrics that work so perfectly for a pop hit. Like it's not an overly complicated song. The structure is not really anything that you haven't heard in other music, but something about the way it's delivered makes so much sense for like intros and extras and stuff in like movies and TV shows.
Sure, absolutely. I can see that. It's a very
Sure.
distinctive piece of music.
I'm sure there's probably like some actual musical term for that. You know what I mean, Tim? Because there is like psychology behind what we like, but I'm not sure what that one is. All right. So this one, not a shocker at all. We have talked a little bit about this. I do have a cool fact on this one, though, that was shocking to me. Also, this is one of the songs that has been, I think, is one of the most radio played songs ever from the radio episode. It's Every Breath You Take, The Police.
Yeah, the fabled stalker anthem.
Yep. And it did get a resurgence after Puff Daddy did the remake in the 90s. Remember? There was the 90s remake, so that did kind of puff it up. Puff Daddy. You guys see I'm on a roll here. Not doing that on purpose. And recently it was reused in Stranger Things, I guess, and it said it started to reach hard again after it got used in Stranger Things.
I can tell you, I've never seen Stranger Things. People have said to me, "Oh, you'll like it. It's all 80s." And I was like, "No, I like the real 80s, not like pretend 80s."
It's fine. The soundtrack is really good. And what I do like about it is I haven't watched all of it. Charlie watched like the first season. And you know how like when your spouse watches something, Tim, you're not necessarily always paying attention to it, but you like walk in the room and it's playing and you hear different things from it. So like I know what the basics of the show are. But I like that they were able to bring some of the music that we know, like, you know, we talked about like Kate Bush and stuff like that to a younger generation. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I mean that's good, but I mean, for me, I have no interest in that. Do you know what I watched today? I actually watched WCW wrestling from 1995, and before I came up to record with you, I was watching Knight Rider season 4, episode 2.
WCW sounds like it's like a news show channel.
No, well, you see, I've moved on with my wrestling. So I like WWF from like 84 through 92. That's your classic era. That's your rock and wrestling era. You know, that's all the characters that you would recognize. And then in 1993, most of the people from WWF left the company and they went to a promotion called WCW, which was on TNT. And it was bankrolled by Ted Turner. And Ted Turner from CNN fame threw so much money in it because he was incredibly wealthy and he liked wrestling. So he just bought all the contracts out and he got paid people silly money and also Vince McMahon screwed him on a business deal many years before. Yep. And he was like, I'm just going to put him out of business. He said, I've got plenty of money. Let's put Vince out of business. Let's make some wrestling. I know it doesn't make any cash, but let's just put Vince out of business just for fun. And that's what he did. And he almost did it. And then what happened is I think his business got sold out to Time Warner or AOL Time Warner.
Yes, Time Warner.
Yeah, there was some big merger or sale or something like that.
Acquisition.
So Ted Turner wasn't actively in charge of it anymore. And then the new merged company saw the balance sheets and they said, well, this wrestling thing, we're spending so many millions of dollars on this a week and it's making nothing. What is going on? And then, of course, they started to downscale it and then it just fell apart. And in the end, Vince always wins because he bought WCW.
Yeah, he tried his hardest to make his grudge last as long as it could.
Absolutely.
We love Petty. Anyway, now, with that being said, on this song specifically, Tim, Sting reportedly earned $2,000 per day for years for the use of I'll Be Missing You.
Really? I mean, that's not too bad. $2,000 a day. Think what I could do with $2,000 a day. For one, I could pull the carpet out of this room and get wooden flooring put in. And then the next day, I could do the bedroom. And then the day after that, I could replace 2 of the doors up here. And then the day after that, I could replace 2 more doors up here. I mean, look at that. I would have renovated almost all of the top of my house
in a week.
Yeah, there we are. And what's Sting doing with it? I have no idea.
I imagine if you have Sting level money, you do more things than renovate your house.
I'd like to think he has the nicest floors and the nicest doors because he wouldn't have to do things and wait for it. You know, we've done renovations to this house and we've had to wait for bonuses or we've had to save money up or we've had to wait for other things to come through before we could do it. Imagine if you were Sting and you was making all that money. You could think to yourself, maybe I
What's
will get a new washing machine, and you just buy one, and it just shows up. He doesn't even have
it
to think about that.
disappears. He just points a catalog and someone orders it. It's at his doorstep tomorrow.
I think that's it. And like, if he wanted, I don't know, if he wanted to pull his bath out and have a walk-in shower, he could just do that.
I, I mean, I don't know. We have to. It Sting's listening. We'd love to know what you did with your $2,000 per day. $2,000 per day. And see, what's funny is I always think about that too, Tim. I think about if I just had like stupid rich amounts of money. I think I'm so not used to having that level of money. I don't know what I would do with it. Like in my mind, I run out of things that I would do with it.
No, I know exactly what I would do. I would, depending on the level of money that you had. I
Yeah.
would probably either move out of this house and buy a brand new one, or if it wasn't enough to warrant that, I would get this house fixed up exactly how I want it. I'd buy some guitars I do not need. I will
Fair.
buy a black Pontiac Trans Am like Kit. I'd buy a couple of other nice cars that are just like normal cars, and I don't know, go on great trips every
Yeah.
day.
I would pay off my student loans. Then I would probably put some money into the house. Probably trade in my car for something fancier and cooler. Maybe give some away to help with some charity events or something out there because I have a lot of charities that I'm interested in that I would want to give stuff to. I would try to invest some of it. I don't know how well of an investor I would be, but I think the smart thing would be to reinvest it into something that I can use. And really, redoing your house, Tim, is an investment in and of itself because then you could sell it if you did. You know what I mean? Just like you wanted to move out. So, for those listening, me and Tim were mostly just naming off all the things we'd do if we were rich.
No, we're naming off all the things we'd do if we had $25,000 or something knocking about. That's what we're doing.
But I mean, if he was earning $2,000 per day for multiple years, what? There's 365 days a year, right, Tim? Mm-hmm. So 2,000 times, I probably could do this in my head, but I'm not going to because I'll do it wrong, and then everybody will be like, "Oh, I thought $730,000 a year just on one song."
Yeah, and to think, if he wanted to replace the carpet on his stairs, he could just order that anytime he wanted to. That's just like one day.
And you wouldn't even have to worry about it. He'd be like, "I'll just replenish it tomorrow."
Yeah,
And
or
it
like if he
sucks.
wanted to put, if he has, like if he wanted to put 4 new tires on his car, he probably has a fancy car. So maybe it might be a day and a half, or maybe a day. Maybe actually probably just about a day. But like he wouldn't have to, for example, wait for a PTO buyback. He wouldn't have to wait for a bonus. He wouldn't have to maybe save up his gig money for a number of months. No, if he wants new tires on his car, he just rolls into like Thompson Tire and he says, "I'll have 4 for the Mercedes." And they just do it, and he just pays
walks
it,
off.
and he just pays it.
He doesn't have to be like, "And make sure you give me the cheaper one."
Yeah,
I can't afford the big one.
And one thing I know about Sting, he wouldn't buy those Hankook tires. He would buy Michelin's. Like that,
I'm
he'd
sure.
go straight, and he wouldn't even get like the lower end Michelin. He'd get like the very expensive one that you see when they list out all the tires they can give you, and the one at the top that you're probably never going to get. He would get that one, and they would be all weather as well.
So I did find out apparently he is a classic car, sports car collector. I was Googling this while you were talking. Now, this is an old article, so some of these are probably some of his older vehicles, but his first vehicle that they said he started his little collection on in 2004 in Berlin was a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, of course. Then he went into a 1966. I don't even know what this is. I'm guessing it's something, and I'm hoping Tim knows. It's England. MGB GT.
Yeah, and then it's an MG. It's an MG car. An MGB. MGB is a type of car. There's a Type A and a Type B.
I mean, it looks like very classic British sports car for anybody wondering what we're talking about. And his is lime green.
Oh,
Very interesting. It says apparently this was one of his very first cars, and they've got quite a few cool pictures of him, like when he was younger, like holding the keys and stuff. He says it's a vintage beauty that has a special significance for him. The guy from Top Gear, what's his name? Richard Hammond, Tim?
probably. I'm not a fan of Top Gear.
I wasn't either. Along from 2002 to 2015, along with Jeremy Clarkson and James May, also boosted this classic and included one of episode about Sting's car. Was where that was going. I never cared for Top Gear very much.
No, I've never liked it. I don't like really anything about it, so I choose not to watch it. If you like it, enjoy it, but it's not a television program that I ever enjoyed. It just seems
Didn't do much for me either.
it just seems ridiculously childish to me, and it's just I can't be doing with that. But it's not for me. But if you like it, you watch it.
And you're into it. Apparently, Stinks Cars on an episode. That was my roundabout way of reading that weird article. I didn't do any preparation on this, so I just Googled it right when we were talking because we were talking about cars. I actually Googled what car does Sting drive while Tim was talking.
Well, that's right. I said Mercedes. So I mean, he probably only had to save his money up for maybe a month or so, and then he got the Mercedes. Whereas I am about to buy a new car next year, I will have to get financing for 5 years. Whereas Sting, it's fine for Sting. He just waits till the weekend and rolls down to the Mercedes dealership, and he said, "I'll have an S-Class, please." And I said, "There we are, Mr. Sumner. There's the keys. Did you wait a week?" And he says, "Yes, I did."
Yep. So here's the thing, because this is such an American change from the last cars. When he went to New York, he had to get an American car, so he got a Cadillac Escalade in 2009. He purchased it for $26 million and then sold it for $50 million.
How's an Escalade worth $26 million? That is a $200,000 car on the best day.
I don't know. Maybe he had a bunch of nice things added to it or something.
Maybe he stashed some of his $2,000 a day money in the back of it, in the boot.
It's probably like one of those, like that TV show in the 90s where they redid people's cars and it would be ridiculous things. And they put like a horse stable in the back of his vehicle. Did you ever watch the Pimp My Ride TV shows, Tim? Are you familiar with this at all?
I am, because there's a car YouTuber I follow who actually bought an ex-Pimp My Ride minivan, and the mods they did in it was ridiculous. And plus it was really old and worn at that point. But I like the idea of the fact that Sting has an Escalade. So those of you who don't know, an Escalade is basically a fancy Chevy Tahoe, which is a very large SUV. So Joy thinks Sting has some kind of paddock in the back of this Escalade with horse rearing facilities.
Well, you asked what would make it cost that much. I don't know. But I love when they make fun of Pit My Ride. Because they would be so ridiculous. The person would say they had a slight interest in, I don't know, woodworking. And then they would open the back of their car and there'd be a whole woodworking bench with tools. And I'm always like, what if they get an accident? Does that stuff go flying around and take someone's head off?
I don't know how it works.
It seems like logistically, Tim, that much stuff in your vehicle could be a danger, I would think, right?
I mean, you would think so.
Okay, well, anyway. All right, well, the final car was a Fiat 124 Spider.
Yeah, that's a little sports car.
Yeah, so that back on a sports car. And there's a picture of him and Shaggy sitting on it in one of his Instagram posts, which I find funny. Never knew that I would see Sting and Shaggy sitting on a car together, but,
there we are, with all the little horses grazing in the back of it.
But he sings from his Cadillac. All right, this is mildly a music podcast. Now, the next song is another one that's super obvious and probably used there's literally a whole movie named after, built around it. Yesterday, The Beatles. So, yeah. I mean, the movie Yesterday, I'm like, it's kind of built around the song. It's not really necessarily about the song, but you get it.
Yeah, so I mean, Yesterday, I think is it the most covered song of all time? I mean, it doesn't surprise me that song will be making so much money. Now, I think that was one of the songs that for a while Michael Jackson owned the publishing of, and I believe that Paul McCartney has since bought it back.
All of those things are true. So I did have my thing was it is the most covered song in modern history. And I actually knew about what he was saying about MJ. It is correct. He does have, Paul McCartney has the rights to it back. Also, it says that he woke up in the middle of a dream, which I think you've heard this before. And he said he literally woke up thinking it was an old song. He wrote the song in his sleep somehow, and when he woke up, he thought it was like an old song. He could never quite figure out where it was he was getting it from, and then they used it to write the song. It's making about 700K a year.
I mean that's not too bad. I mean that's one of 200 songs that Paul McCartney's written that are super popular.
I mean that, but you like one of two songs. I mean, one of like 40 million songs. I can't think. Like he's one of those people that even if he didn't perform it, his name is somehow in the production somewhere for like 37,000 music songs out there. So
Absolutely, but it's
him
still a
and
great song.
Nile
And I've
Rogers.
seen Paul McCartney perform that live. When I saw him in Greensboro in
Mm-hmm.
2012, we had the worst seats in the house, but I did see Paul McCartney perform yesterday.
It was worth it.
100%.
Would do it again. That's like whenever I went to a baseball game for the Atlanta Braves when I was like 16 with choir because we were doing or we traveled. We were in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were doing some fun stuff, outside of like our little performances and stuff. And at the baseball game, I got stuck behind like the giant column because we were all the way at the top. And you don't realize how big stadiums are, Tim, until you're at the top of them.
Sure.
Like it's when you feel like you're in the sky, you are in the sky. When you're at these national, not that I don't know, Tim, how much you've been to major coliseums for sports, because we know you don't do the sports balls, but you've
No,
probably been to
I've seen
concerts.
for concerts, absolutely.
Yeah, Elton John's when I was at the top of the Panthers, which is the football team in South Carolina. Or North Carolina, whatever the Panthers are. We're at the top of their Coliseum, Tim, and I'm pretty sure that I could have waved at because they had security going by the entire time, with the helicopter. I could have waved at the helicopter guy driving by, and he would have saw me. That's how high in the sky it felt like we were. And I get a little nervous. Like I have to like adjust physically when I'm that high up. Like I'm like, okay, I'm sitting and I'm not moving because I just have a fear of falling, and then you just keep falling. Which has happened to people before, so it's not that much of a fear. Anyway, we got off topic. With that being said, the next one is a song that I could never hear again. I'd be perfectly fine. But I could think of like 47,000 movies it's been in. There's one famous one I'm going to bring up, but everybody, as soon as I say this, will probably have a movie that comes to mind. It's Bad to the Bone, George Thorogood.
Yeah, that'd be Terminator 2 for me.
Yep, that was the bike bar scene.
Yeah, but I mean,
That was
yeah,
the one I put.
anytime there's people on bikes, there's people in leather jackets at some kind of bar. Bam, 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 bam. I mean,
Stepping Wolf hasn't already played.
yeah. I mean, it's so cliched at this point, but yeah, George Thorogood is probably making quite a good return on that particular song.
400K a year is what it averages. Obviously, it's the tough guy anthem. He said that he's made more money. Here's my little fun trivia. He once joked on TV he's made more money from that song than he has for every tour he's ever done.
Yeah, I could probably believe that. Well, that was like Lemmy when he wrote "Mama, I'm Coming Home" for Ozzy
Oh,
Osbourne.
yeah.
He said he made more money on that song than his entire career in Motorhead.
Well, and the thing about it is he's not George Thorogood's not really. I mean, and the Destroyers, I guess, technically they're the ones who perform it. But I mean, what he's got like 3 songs maybe that I know off the top of my head. He's not exactly got like a huge playlist to begin with.
No, and all of his songs sound basically exactly the same.
I can't even actually. Now that I said that, most of them are about drinking, aren't they? Because doesn't he do like that? I drink alone and one bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
Yeah, that's one. I was just going to bring him up on the Spotify. They have
See what they got for him.
good.
Those are the only songs I can think of. He's got a lot of songs about drinking.
George Thorogood and the Destroyers, 293 million plays, Bad to the Bone, and then one bourbon, one scotch, one beer, and then Who Do You Love? And then the rest.
Oh, he did have that song.
Yeah, and then the rest of them are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's not surprising. I don't know that I would go out of my way to see him at a concert tour.
I think he came to Roanoke or the Harvester or something not that long ago, and I was like, I don't know if I want to pay $70 to listen to Bad to the Bone.
Now, what's interesting is while I was looking at some of the like little trivia facts about this. Thorogood first wanted Muddy Waters to record the song, but his manager declined it. And then he asked Bo Diddley to record the song, but he didn't have a recording deal at the time, so the Destroyers ended up recording it instead. Would have been interesting to hear a Bo Diddley or a Muddy Waters version of Bad to the Bone.
Yeah, I think probably after the fact they probably recorded it because the song is so incredibly iconic. But yeah, I'm glad that George managed to keep that one for himself.
The song actually adapts the hook, I guess, from Muddy Waters' song "Manish Boy." I didn't know that till now, but apparently that makes sense why he was thinking about him. I mean, I know it's like G has got like some of the like slide kind of stuff, so that makes sense for it to be a Muddy Waters kind of song. Yes. Have you had to play Bad to the Bone, Tim?
I'm sure I've played it at some point.
I'm so happy you don't have to play it anymore.
No, it's not in any band sets I've played recently, but it seems like something I have played over the years. It's not terribly difficult to play. I mean, I don't play slide guitar, but I mean, I can play an approximation of it.
I'll say, does it really matter at the Moose Lodge at 3 a.m. when they've had one bourbon, one scotch, one beer? It's all the same at that point.
Yeah, it doesn't.
As long as you're in G and you kind of do a song and dance, they'll figure it out.
There you go.
All right. So the next one's pretty obvious why it makes the list, but it also does have a lot of covers. It is The Lion Sleeps Tonight, The Tokens, which obviously The Lion King. So, and then of course it's been done by everybody and their cousin for different reasons. It equals about $500K a year. And apparently Disney's use of it led to a bunch of lawsuits because the original writer never got any money from Disney.
Interesting. Now, when I was growing up, there was a version by a pop act called a Tight Fit. And that's the version that I know of Lion Sleeps Tonight. Obviously, I've heard different versions subsequently, but you know, when I was much younger, that's the version that was in the charts on the hit parade.
I've heard I mean, there's probably 1,000. The Tokens is the one that I know off the top of my head, and obviously, I've definitely heard it in The Lion King the movie, but I don't know who specifically they were. I probably heard Tight Fit version. And it doesn't ring a bell, but I'm sure. I mean. It's When the Lion Sleeps Tonight. They're all about the same. Let's see here. It says here's the key versions: Solomon Linda's, Original Evening Birds, Pete Seeger, The Tokens, Robert John, Miriam Makeba, I don't know, Henry Salvador, Tight Fit. That's one Tim was talking about in 1982, and They Might Be Giants. Released an altered version as the guitar. Parentheses, The Lion Sleeps Tonight, parentheses, whatever that means. Don't know why it's called the guitar now, but if you like that version, apparently it does exist. And somebody's making a lot of money off of all those versions based off this list. All right. So this band has already been on the list once, so we know they have a lot of money. It's not going to be surprising to anybody. It's Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, this was famously in Ghost, wasn't it?
The pottery scene, the very weird, creepy pottery scene, which if you take in isolation is a strange scene.
Yeah, I've seen that parodied with other music playing and other things going on because it's odd. I mean, I have seen the film Ghost. I think I saw it on TV not long after it came out. I have no desire to ever see it again. It's a bit odd.
It's just a very I understood what they were going for, like the kind of doing the pottery together. And it is very much giving Patrick Swayze. And of course, that whole movie is kind of weird. But if you really, that if you tried that in real life, it would never, look near as easy as they did it. Pottery would be flying everywhere, realistically, if you put 4 hands on a pottery wheel. It's just it's like one of those, if you look at it, reality versus fiction. I would never go that way, ever. Because have you ever done a pottery wheel, Tim?
I think I did it at school. I think we had art classes and they had that as a thing one time. And it's a lot harder than you think it would be.
It is. I got into it and made vase once and a little bowl. I went through a period where I was obsessed with doing the pottery wheel type stuff, but that lasted for 3 weeks. And it's a lot harder than that scene made it seem. But anyway, and the whole thing is she said ghosts, so kind of weird. Now, this song has been recorded over 1,500 times by different people, which is crazy. Now, given that's like from anybody from like, the generic singers that are on those albums to Tim probably doing it with some band that he was on Spotify with. So it's a lot of people to record, but 1,500 times was a hard one for me to believe.
Okay.
I mean, it is the Righteous Brothers, but they make about $300K a year. So off of this song. So add that together and we're at $1 million with the other song for just royalties.
I mean, that is not too bad. Not too shabby, as they say.
All right. Now, this one is one I thought there would be more of these on here, and there are a few, but Christmas songs. Christmas songs are notorious for like making good money, and they're usually pretty simple. It is number 9 is Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, again, another song I probably think is out of copyright. And there's a whole load of these Christmas songs that are just going to come up every year and they're a cash cow. They'll make a bunch of money in December for you, probably bankroll you for the whole year until the Christmas season rolls around again.
Yes. And they're just like simple. What's crazy about it is like when you look at White Christmas or you look at Frosty the Snowman, or even like Jingle Bells isn't on here, but it's another one that, there's like 4, that's probably been recorded by more than 1,500 times, right? Probably 15 million times at this point. And they're like very simple songs that when you're first learning to play the piano, you learn. And these people are making $600K a year off of them. Talk about getting it while it's hot, not realizing what's coming your way.
I've been involved with original music. I think I maybe I just wasn't in the right place at the right time.
Maybe you need to start working on your Christmas songs. Now, obviously, this is very famously used in the 1969 special Frosty the Snowman, which is kind of sad and creepy. Like it's about a guy who melts until you put a hat back on him. But anyway, Gene Autry and Jimmy Durant, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Gene Autry also own the song Rudolph. So not only is he probably getting $600K from Frosty, he owns the rights to the song for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I mean, that is not too bad. Now, I have actually a related but unrelated question for you. So we've spoken about a lot of this music, which is no longer in copyright, meaning that maybe people are making money from a recorded works, but the actual songwriting piece is now completely in the open and no one owns the copyright to it anymore.
Yes.
I was in a chain restaurant in the last few weeks for my birthday.
Okay.
And was it my birthday? I can't remember. Anyhow, we was in a chain restaurant.
Got it.
And it was someone's birthday that day. And I thought now you can sing the proper birthday song because the happy birthday song is no longer in copyright in the United States. But this particular Red Robin that I was in went, happy, happy birthday. It's a birthday song. Happy, happy birthday. Having best time along. It's like, why are they singing that and not happy birthday?
I think they just do it on purpose. So yes, actually Happy Birthday was on here, but I couldn't get the annual rating. So Happy Birthday to You is Mildred and Patty Hill. Estimated royalties up until the copyright was 80 million, like historically.
Yeah.
Obviously, it says every TV show or movie had to once license it. Royalties collected for nearly 100 years. And it was the most profitable song ever before it entered public domain. So it is free. Maybe they just wanted their own iconic song. I don't know, Tim.
I don't know. It was the standard one they use in restaurants. It wasn't the proper happy birthday song. I was just surprised to hear that out in the wild.
Maybe they had already practiced that one, so it's just easier to say.
I mean, it's possible.
I have no idea. That's funny. I hadn't thought about it. Yeah, that was Happy Birthday was one, but I didn't put it on the list because I couldn't get a good annual amount for it. But it definitely popped up when I was looking at this. And once again, could you imagine writing Happy Birthday to You, Happy Birthday to You, and making $100 million off of it?
Well, it's actually a rework of a song called Good Morning to All.
Oh, that makes sense too. Good morning to all. I can see how that would be the same. Good morning
to all. Good morning. It's something like that. But yes, it is a remake of that song.
Well, there you go. I mean, and you'd be surprised to know how many times little like melodies like that make it into like music if people don't realize it as well. Like obviously Elvis notoriously used like a nursery rhyme in his songs and things of that nature. So. But what am I? But I just. How have I not? Like, am I just not putting myself out there enough by like writing little jingles and hoping one day I become famous? Maybe I just need to do that.
I think the time of that has passed. I think that concept is something from an earlier age.
I know.
The problem now, you could be the most amazing songwriter the world has ever seen. You could be writing the catchiest, hookiest music ever. But record companies don't sign people anymore unless you're five attractive people standing in a row or you have a whole look or the actual sheer musician talent. They're not interested in that anymore. They're just interested in marketing stuff. And people who
Yeah,
are actually out there with that kind of talent are putting themselves on Instagram. They're putting themselves on YouTube, but there's no record company behind it. So it's, and the other thing as well is that media is so fragmented at this point. Whereas
it's true.
30 years ago, there was a handful of radio stations, there was a handful of TV stations. And, if something was big, it will always be big because, there wasn't much else out there. Now, you've written this amazing song that's the best song in the entire world. You put it on YouTube, I don't know how many people are going to look at it, but it's not going to have the same impact as when these other songs were written.
Darn, I should have been born like I don't want to say how many years ago because it makes me feel old when I think about it. I
Yeah,
was going to say
it's
like 30 years ago, but it's more like 60 to 50 years ago.
Yeah, you'll find that I think all of these songs that you're talking about, and none of them are
Oh
from the
yeah.
modern era. They're all from a previous time, and that's why a lot of that classic music will always prevail because
Yeah.
it's people are so familiar with it. But new music probably won't have that longevity for that reason.
There's also just some nostalgia in it when you start putting like these songs over and over and over again and like TV shows and movies and commercials like that's reinforcing it to us, right? To
Hmm.
establish whatever. So there's a lot of like psychology in that. Now the next one I think I know exactly why it would be, obviously, and you'll know why when I say it. It's Stand By Me, Ben E. King.
Hmm.
So $300,000 a year. Obviously, there was the movie Stand By Me. Did you ever watch that movie, Tim?
No, I'm familiar with it, and I know they reissued that song as a single because I remember it
Yep.
being in the charts in the 80s.
Yes, so it did make it back into the charts and it rebranded. Now, I've watched, like, I know what Stand By Me is about. And I've seen, like, the four kids and stuff like that and, like, reference, but I don't know if I've ever sat down and watched it from beginning to end. I just know what it is.
Yeah,
And it's based off of the book.
I will never watch that.
It's fine. But what's weird is that's not why this one is so popular, though. For some reason, this track is most used for commercials, which I found strange because I can't think of one commercial that has Stand By Me in it.
I don't know. I live in a mostly commercial-free world. Everything has ad block on it, and we have YouTube Premium. So if it's in commercials, I have no idea.
And maybe it's in modern day commercials. Obviously, though, I think one of the most recognizable things about the song is the intro. The opening is like so perfect for an intro into a character or like a love triangle or something like that. The little kind of like breakdown that you get at the opening.
Hmm.
That's why I think it sticks so well for these kind of things.
There we go.
And it's recognizable, kind of like we were saying. I feel like it's like that nostalgia plays into being able to hear it and feel a certain emotion they want you to feel in a movie, and it all reinforces. Now, the other thing is they said, and I didn't know this, but we probably should have. A lot of times when you're supposed, with these songs are not out of copyright and you do it for a talent show, there's like rules about if you should or shouldn't get what like copyright from it, Tim. Like you have to pay for it or not. Now, obviously, when I was in musicals and stuff, I like, we had to pay for whatever musical we were going to do that year to get permission to perform it. But
Hmm.
this is saying certain talent show performances, and this is one of the most talent show performed songs. I don't know. That's weird because I wouldn't think you would need royalties for a talent show.
Well, any public performance needs to be covered from a copyright and performance royalty
Well, I
perspective.
broke that rule.
So normally, like I said, when you go out and play music venues, they will have a music license from
Yeah. Oh, that's
ASCAP or
true.
whoever it is. But I don't know if you're any public performance has to have some kind of
Maybe
thing going on.
maybe the venue had it then, because I'm thinking about like talent shows and stuff in high school and stuff. You know what I mean, Tim? Like I can think of songs I performed, but I never like went out of my way to give anybody performance royalties. But maybe that's what it is. Maybe the school did some type of like thing for it.
Maybe, or maybe they just went rogue. Who can say?
I mean, Don't come for me, internet or the FBI. I didn't know. I was like 10. I still didn't know, obviously, because I'm still debating it. All right. Another Christmas song. Shocker. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, it
Now,
seems to me there's a lot of Christmas songs on this list.
well, there's a lot of Christmas movies, so it makes sense. And what's the biggest kind of nostalgia cash grab there that exists? Christmas. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's true. And obviously, if it's played every year, that's guaranteed money. The Jackson 5 version is the single most played and licensed version, which of course it is. It was originally written by Fred Coots, J. Fred Coots, and Haven Gillespie. I don't know who those guys are, but they're making money from it. Bruce Springsteen has played it every year, I guess, at the end of the. Doesn't he do it at like the end of a parade or something? I don't remember what it is.
Sounds about right.
I've seen it. Some type of thing. Maybe it's a parade, maybe it's just a Christmas special, but I've seen his version. And then obviously it is the number one streaming Christmas song year after year. Which is weird because I could go without ever hearing Santa Claus is coming to town.
That's true. You should turn it off, and then you should put Waitress's Christmas wrapping on, as I spoke about earlier.
True, touche. So this one has been covered and recorded by 200 artists. You've got Mariah Carey, Bing Crosby, the Andrews Sisters, the Crystals, Neil Diamond, Bruce Springsteen, Frank Sinatra, Mitch Miller, Boxcar Willie, Bob Evans, Christmas Isaac, The Temptations, the Pointer Sisters, Kylie Minogue, the Carpenters, Michael Bublé, Louis Miguel, Michael Bolton, Justin Bieber, the Jackson 5, Dolly Parton, Lady Gaga, and more.
There we are, including Bob Evans, which is a casual fast dining chain in the United States.
Now, here's a question, Tim. Have you ever did like a show like with your band that was all Christmas music? Have you ever had to do that?
No, we used to throw "Merry Christmas, Everybody" by Slade into band sets.
That's just fun.
But mostly that's in England. Not here, not so much.
Well, that one's getting about 400,000 a year. Now we're going to take a turn. I think that's the end of our Christmas music official kind of thing. This song, though, once again, it's the opening. And there is something to be said about like this iconic opening of these songs. This one is "Walking on Sunshine," Katrina and the Waves.
Yeah, I think this song is written by Don Airey, who is now the keyboard player in Deep Purple. I think.
I don't have who wrote it. Let's see.
I think
Internet,
it's either written or co-written by Don Airey.
Let's see here. It's written by Kimberly Rue. For British Rock by Katrina and the Waves. I don't know who Kimberly is. That one of the members of Katrina?
Maybe.
Katrina
I know
and the
he had
Waves?
something to do with it.
What did you? Let's see here. A re-record version of the band's album. It was single. Da 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 da. It's Waves. Until Love Shine a Light. I don't see anything about it.
Maybe it was Love Shine a Light he wrote, but anyway, he has a rock and roll connection to Katrina and the Waves.
Somebody Google that and tell us, because I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it exists. With that being said, once again, the intro to that is probably makes sense why it's used. And whenever anyone in some movie is extra happy, right? This is what they play. It earns about $300,000 a year. It is one of the most licensed songs ever. It's obviously used from rom-coms to insurance ads to travel ads. And the writers have confirmed, this is an actual quote, that they make steady mailbox money. So, because you know how they talk about, like, literally they physically send you royalty checks in the mail a lot of times. And sometimes they could be 2 cents, sometimes they could be $3 million and everything in between. So that's what they were saying. They steadily get mailbox money. Now, the funny part about this one is this was Walking on Sunshine was in Glee. You knew that was going to come up at some point. Actually, a few of these songs. A few of these songs have been in Glee, but they haven't been worth me bringing up yet. But this one was a very weird, I guess, kind of episode, because what happened was they were doing something. They were doing like mashups. It was like a mashup episode. And they were all burnt out or something was going on in their lives where Rachel Berry, one of the leads, was like, went to the nurse, but the nurse at the hospital wasn't actually a nurse. It was the teacher's wife pretending to be a nurse so she could spy on him anyway. So, but she gave her the idea of when she was in school, Tim, she would just take Claritin and she would be very excited and very happy and be able to get all of her work done. So she starts doing Claritin, which, if you don't know, is like medicine you take for like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not asthma, but allergies. And so it opens up your nasal passages. It makes you bright, makes you happy. But if you're taking it for the wrong reasons, it will make you very energetic. Anyway, this was the song she performed while she was on high on Claritin, because it's such an intense, like, da-da-da-da-da, walking on sunshine. You get the idea. What an episode, right, Tim?
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Joe, we've probably got time for about one more.
Well, that's good, because that's what I had in my list.
There we go.
This one's no shocker to anybody. It is Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, and this is not a song I particularly enjoy, but yeah, it is covered by many.
Jeff Buckley, Wade, Rufus Wainwright, etc., etc. Now, ironically, this one was one that got a resurgence because of Shrek the movie, which I know Tim has never watched Shrek, but did you know this song is used in Shrek?
I didn't. As I said, I've been to Shrek 3D in Universal Studios Hollywood. That's the only connection I have with Shrek.
Now, one thing that I thought was interesting is they said that this song is like licensed to a lot of, or like mostly licensed to talent shows like American Idol, The Voice, any of like singing based shows. There's at least one person a season who sings this song. Is basically what they're saying. Which makes sense, because while it is not necessarily a song that I think would fit my vocal range, it is a vocally interesting song that if you're trying to show off singing chops, I see why you might pick it. And it has some type of like emotional, you know what I mean? Like grasp towards the audience if you want them to vote for you.
Sure.
So. And what's crazy is he said when he wrote it, Tim, he originally wrote 180 verses.
That's just too much.
It's already a really long song telling a whole story, 180 verses. Makes you wonder if like that version is out there somewhere.
It probably is on the cutting room floor, I would imagine.
I'm good, because it's almost 7 minutes, like when Jeff Buckley does it, isn't it? Am I crazy, or is it not like a 7-minute long song already?
Yeah, it goes on.
Which kind of fits, because if you listen to the song, that's kind of a funny joke if you get the lyrics, guys. But yeah, I just like it because of Shrek. That's really what it is. But yeah, that's the last one. I just thought it was kind of fun because we talk about this all the time. Now, there were some ones that are just, I'm going to throw them out there, just like honorable mentions. And of course, it's Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You was one of them. Hooked on a Feeling, Blue Suede was another one. And then How Bizarre by OMC from 1995, which is one of my favorite songs, by the way.
There we go.
All right. Well, what would you like to leave the people with, Tim?
Just be kind to everyone that you meet. And if you happen to see Sting, ask him about his home improvements and tire purchases.
And what was in the back of the Escalade that made it worth that much money. And whether that article was accurate that I Googled live on air, we'll never know. All right. With that being said, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.